Richie Trez, who also goes by Richie and Trez, won over Shiloh Katori, a 13-year-old girl who was ranked 133rd in the Border Global ranks, which are based on performance in skateboarding competitions. Trez, by comparison, sits at 838 in ranking. Trez took the top title in the women's division of the Border Open, taking home $500. I have 3 kids. I'm married. I did my time in the military. I own a company. I've decided I like to being pretty and cute. Trez said in an interview about skateboarding last year, so everything that goes with that is female. I love female bodies. I think it's a work of art. Are you positive this is a true story?
It's 100% a true story. I thought
this is on Fox News.
I thought he was trying to troll us, but this is no, that's real. That is real.
That's real.
Listen, sometimes you just want to be pretty and cute. Jed, you understand? Like, and I want to beat the shit out of 13-year-old girls that their dreams are just crushed.
See, this is where this conversation has gone now. Now you have a 29-year-old biological male who is beating a 13-year-old girl in women's sports, and we're all supposed to sit, swallow it, and say, oh, this is the new norm. This is destructive. This has been a stain on women's sports. You now have a lot of female athletes coming out and saying, you know, they're afraid to talk. They're afraid that they're going to be because they're afraid they're going to be stigmatized. They're afraid the second they open their mouth, the media is going to come in. You know, you're going to have some article in Cosmo magazine about them and calling them a bigot and you're anti-trans, when in fact, these are girls who've worked their entire lives. They have struggled their entire lives. They've made sacrifices. They've decided not to party, not to hang out with their friends because they have a commitment to sports. They finally get to the top and now they have to compete with a grown man. And no one's allowed to say that it's a grown man. So you have some sports that are coming out now. What was the sport, Tyler? We talked about it the other day that came out. I don't know if you remember, and said, this isn't going to fly.
Swimming. It was a
swimming, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so swimming came out, which is, you know, antithetical to what's going on in soccer.
Finna.
But... Right,
yeah.
But
pull up that picture with the guy with the lady,
utterly
the swimmer.
right. So
like,
and
he's
also
like 6'6"
exactly.
against 5'2"
and
women.
This went from
Leah
conversation.
Thomas, exactly.
I talk about this on my show a lot because this went from a conversation about acceptance of like live the life you want. Do what you want to do. You're an adult. You're not hurting anyone else. You're not asking anyone else to pay for whatever you're doing. Great. We can support. Do what you want to do. To now, if you don't endorse this absolute psychosis that's going on, look at the images here.
Look at this.
Look at that. He's huge.
It's
No,
ridiculous.
she's huge.
She's huge.
It's not a
Vinny.
she. It's a grown man.
He still has his testicles and he has his male parts. Bro, come on, man. That's cheating.
But just look at the framework, the difference. These women are clearly 5'2". This guy's 6'5".
Yeah, he's a swimmer body.
And you're supposed to say there's no advantage. You know, they came out. A lot of the swimmers, the trans swimmers came out and said, "Oh, we don't have an advantage. You don't have an advantage? Of course, come on. We all have eyes and ears. Yeah. We weren't born yesterday. So what happens to all the girls, the actual women here? Is women's sports going to cease to exist now? Think about it. Will it just be men's sports and trans sports? Yeah. What's going to happen here? I'm serious. It's a serious question.
I honestly think, and we talked about this earlier before I walked into it, there should be a league, just a trans league where call it like tits, dicks. I don't know. Just play listen, whatever you're confused, whatever. You guys play over here. Leave these little, like, dude, this 13-year-old girl, you realize she's going to be, like, her father's going to have to sit her down and go, listen, honey, you lost to a man. Grow a pair, literally. Like, you're going to have to get some testosterone in you. And because, like, it's cheating. I don't care what you say. And you made a good point. Nothing against that community. Good. I feel, go do your thing. But when it comes to sports, you're messing up people's lives. That little girl's, that's her money.
Yeah, you don't get to deprive. You get to do what you want with your own life, but you don't get to deprive somebody else of something based on a new set of rules that you've now demanded that we all endorse.
Well said.
That's not how it works.
Let me tell you why this skateboarding thing is and probably won't get as much tabloid time as this for whatever reason. These people are at least the same age. Whether they got, whatever private parts they got going on, they're all in college, okay? You're 18 to 22, I get it. You're talking about a 29-year-old person versus a 13-year-old girl.
Yep.
Yeah, you're talking about
that is problematic.
In other language, a grown-ass man and a young girl.
Yes,
that's exactly
correct.
right.
So, Pat, but you guys have kids. What do you tell your 13-year-old? I'm being dead serious because I was trying to be funny. What do you tell your 13-year-old daughter who just beat up a big-ass field of people her age, a 30-year-old dude, a 30-year-old veteran that wants to just be cute and pretty and fucking skate?
Her words.
Pat, honestly, what do you two, when your kid gets...
Very
what
simple.
do you tell that kid?
It's very simple for me. one, I go speak to whoever organized it.
Okay.
And I try to use my voice to create change. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go recruit other people to also say, do you feel the same way? We need to have a meeting. This is not acceptable. If these parents are not happy about it, I'm not alone. We got more than 50, 60%. I think you have to listen to what we have to say.
Beautiful.
Then, if they say no, then I have to look at other places where they can compete fairly, and I'll go look at it. I'm not a helpless person. I will find solutions, and I'll go to a different place. It's okay. So now, imagine now when you're putting your kids in a competition, you have to ask the question, just out of curiosity, such and such area, when they compete, they accept transgender competitors, and they don't just go based on what the biological situation is. What's your protocols? Oh, no, we don't accept that. Okay, that's great to know. Then I would like my kids to fairly compete here. And if they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. No problem. And then if at that point you're not happy because nobody around you has the set of values and principles that you do, then you have to make a real serious decision with your husband and your wife and say, we have to move to a different place that matches our values and principles. It's that simple for me.
Yep.
It's not that complicated.
What would you tell the kid? What would you tell your kid though?
I'm going to have a conversation with the kid.
And say, listen, it's just.
Oh, we already have those conversations because that conversation is being had right now as we speak.
Wow.
And I'm straight up. I explained to them how science works. I explained to them how the values of parents and mothers and fathers play, environment, values, principles, confusion. It's very easy to get confused. And, that's the conversation. It's a form of a bullying. And in our family, we don't support bullying.
Oh, good.
So we don't support bullying. We stand up. So
good.
But I think the approach is more from the standpoint of, when people were like, I'm not against Roe v. I can't believe what you're doing. Dude, if you're so much for it, try to make change in the state you're in. If you can't, move to another state.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.